Hi, I'm Greg Halbrick with DeKalb and Asgrow, technical agronomist for Minnesota West. I'd like to discuss a few things today. One is IDC severity, iron deficiency chlorosis in southwest Minnesota, and then really the management considerations around it, how we combat that issue. So if we look at IDC symptoms, why do we see them within southwest Minnesota or the pothole region? Really goes back to the limited amount of iron or the limited amount of iron uptake through that root system. If we take an up-close look at the symptoms, we'll see that chlorosis, that chlorotic area, the dark green veins, and the newest trifoliate really yellowing within that soybean plant. So it starts to show up in this part of the area, usually from that first trifoliate through flowering, and you can see in the back area of this field, we've got some symptoms showing up in the side hills and throughout the area. So really the IDC again is that limited iron uptake. The iron itself is what causes the production or helps the production of chlorophyll within the plant. So we've really limited the chlorophyll production, the green leaves, the newest trifoliate, really that photosynthate process working and creating that nodulation below ground. So how do we combat that issue? How do we take care of it? It really goes to two considerations. One is an iron chelation product. So if we can get iron to that root system right off the bat through the first stages of that vegetative development, we can give it the iron it needs in the beginning phases until it really starts to mine the rest of that soil and that taproot gets deeper. Products like soy green or iron chelations really help out with this and gets us through some of these yellowing areas. The other management consideration is really a resistant or tolerant soybean variety. So as we look at some of these newest soybean varieties that come out, whether they're pre-commercial or stuff we have on the market today, we really need to have a higher rating on IDC to help out in these areas. If we look at a seed resource guide, we've got ratings all the way from 2 as an excellent to 5 on some that are below average in some of these real hot areas. So I'm standing here today at Jack Larson's plot, and what we do within Minnesota as agronomists, DSMs, and local dealers is we put together a 1-row pH plot. So there's 24 different single entries, soybean varieties in here. We've got a control, and then we've also got some competitors in here to really go up against and see how we rate within that maturity. So behind me, we've got 24 different entries, one strip at a time, and you can see already some variation showing up because of the different pH, the salt level, and the calcium carbonates. What we do is we take a control soybean of 2131. So AG 2131 is rated a 2 on IDC. That bean is really shown in the past few years that it holds up in some severe conditions, and so every couple rows we use that as a control to compare some of the newest commercial soybean varieties and some of the previous ones we've had out for a few years. So if we take a look, we've got a new 1.7 soybean where my shovel's standing there, and then to the left we've got a competitor soybean, a 1.7, and then back to the right of this where my shovel's at is our Asgrow 2131s, so the control within this plot. So if we take a look, and I just want to highlight one of our soybeans is the new 1733, and we look at the newest trifoliate, you can see that we don't have much chlorosis showing up, maybe a little bit of yellowing throughout that trifoliate, but not much. And we take a look down that row, holding up very well in a severe IDC area. Comparing it to the left row there, competitor 1.7 shows a little bit more iron deficiency, and then again to our right is that 2131, very comparable to the 1733s. So in the past we've really strived to come out with an IDC defensive bean in this part of the world to combat against these issues, and we maybe not have always brought yield with it. Well, this new 1.7 1733s, we figured out the IDC, and we've really hit hard on that yield component. So this one is bringing a lot of yield and that defensive IDC characteristic. So I really would encourage guys getting out, taking a look at these 1-row pH plots within Minnesota and on the local level. Visit with your local Asgrow DeKalb dealer, your DSM, or myself, technical agronomist.